let's discuss BDSM. I'm going to start this off by saying that I am not an expert in all kinks and or specifically BDSM, but I do have a base knowledge. And so let's dive into this question. Number one, it's great when you are exploring any new kink to take it very slowly. Number two, recognize that each person's comfort level is different. What I mean by this is some people may take to kinks a little bit faster than other people. So if your partner is taking a little bit of a time, like a longer time to warm up to a kink than you are, it's about being supportive and asking them, how can I help you feel more comfortable with this kink? I would have a follow-up question to this saying, have you and your partner sat down and set clear boundaries before exploring this kink? Because you absolutely should explore your hard and soft limits when it comes to BDSM and the dom-sub relationship. So what are the things that are absolutely like you cannot do? What are the things that they can do, but they kind of have to check in with you? And what are the things that are allowed? This is ridiculously important when exploring any new kink, but if you have already had that discussion and your partner's still taking a little bit longer to warm up, it's about empowering them through the right decisions that they make during the act. So if you are exploring this dynamic and they do something right that feels really good to you, or you want them to continue to do that, then that's when you speak up, even in a submissive role, and saying, yes, I love that. Or if you are taking and embodying the submissive role to the fullest, where it's like you only talk when they say to talk, it's something to have. It's a conversation to have afterwards. Like aftercare is really big in BDSM. This is the conversation you have during aftercare of, I really liked when you did this. I would like you to do more. Communication is key. And so if your partner is being a little nervous, fully stepping into this dom role of theirs, give them time, but also encourage them the entire way and let them know the entire time, hey, I'm really comfortable with this. Constantly reassure them that you are okay. Because when you are getting into that dominant role, and especially with a submissive that you have feelings for and you care about, there are times where they may get nervous that they're overstepping or being overbearing, or just nervous about control and touch of your body. So letting them know and constantly reassuring them, I am safe with you. You are safe. We are safe in this container. I really enjoy that you are doing this. I love what you're doing. Constant validation and whatever word I was just using that now has escaped my fucking brain. Now, when it comes to praise kinks and words to praise that person in the bedroom, that's all individual preference. So if I were you and I wanted to be praised more in the bedroom, I would figure out what key terms do it for me. So a common one that they are referring to is good girl. You see this in fucking everything. So if that gets your juices flowing, saying to your partner, I love when you call me good girl. Here's appropriate times to call me good. And don't be afraid to be specific. Like when we're exploring new things sexually, it is a vulnerable process. I recognize that. But the more specific you are, the better. So if you're sitting here and say, when you are penetrating me, please say, and like I'm taking it rough and I'm taking it well, say to me, good girl. Even don't be afraid to tell them how you like it, right? How you like the word said. If it's in a deeper voice, if it's whispered in your ear, if it's while they smack your ass. Like the more specific you are to your partner, the better. And I know that sounds counterintuitive or counterproductive sometimes when it comes to sex, because sex is supposed to be spontaneous and it's supposed to be just like fly off the cuff. Yes and no. Great sex can be fly off the cuff where two people are just kind of going in the moment. Great sex can also be two people who have had the conversations about what they like prior, and then they're in the act and everything is flowing and it feels good because they had the conversations of this works for me, this doesn't work for me, I love when you do this, I don't love when you do that. That way you avoid any mishaps, any being pulled out of the moments. So when it comes to praise kinks, look at what words you want to be called, because there's more than just good girl. There's different ways that people like to be praised, and you may have your own. Like my favorite thing, and this is like a compliment in general, but like I love during sex if someone's like, I love the smell of you, I love the taste of you. Like that is praise. For me, that gets me off. So that's my kind of kink. So it's like looking at what words really do it for you. If you need help, my biggest piece of advice is go get adult like literature. And I'm not talking about porn. I'm talking about going and getting adult fantasy novels, adult romance novels that specifically have examples of these style kinks. So there's a book called Praise. We wrote about it in Smex Ed magazine. You can go to www.smexed.com. It's in like our April issue of last year. And the entire book is like a story about this woman who is obsessed with praise kinks. And so it gives you a shit ton of examples of different praise kinks to use and sexual scenarios where they are used. So you could even give that to your partner and be like, read this, highlight it, dog ear it, put post-it notes in there. This is what I want. So let's just do some quick praise kink examples. Obviously, good girl. Second one is I love the way you feel. I love your body. Your body is perfect. I love the way I feel inside of you. You feel so good. You feel incredible. Just like that. Something like, I want you to come hard. I love when you come. Come for me, baby is a good one. Come on me, baby. I love when your body does that. I love when this. Like, it's just anything that makes your partner feel good or feel empowered will make them want to continue that action. I always talk about this when I have a lot of like women who message me about being afraid to be on top because they get embarrassed if they're shy and their partners are like, but I want them on top. Well, the best way to get your partner to do something is to praise the ever-living shit out of them while they're doing it and afterwards. So telling them how incredible they feel, how incredible they look, how turned on you are is always going to be a way to make your partner feel empowered. When people feel powerful, they want to continue to do the thing that's making them feel powerful. So let's just do some quick praise kink examples. Obviously, good girl. Second one is I love the way you feel. I love your body. Your body is perfect. I love the way I feel inside of you. You feel so good. You feel incredible. Just like that. Something like, I want you to come hard. I love when you come. Come for me, baby is a good one. Come on me, baby. I love when your body does that. I love when this. Like, it's just anything that makes your partner feel good or feel empowered will make them want to continue that action. I always talk about this when I have a lot of like women who message me about being afraid to be on top because they get embarrassed if they're shy and their partners are like, but I want them on top. Well, the best way to get your partner to do something is to praise the ever-living shit out of them while they're doing it and afterwards. So telling them how incredible they feel, how incredible they look, how turned on you are is always going to be a way to make your partner feel empowered. When people feel powerful, they want to continue to do the thing that's making them feel powerful. Let's discuss having a loss of intimacy during a long-term relationship and or a marriage, because this is something that is so beyond normal. It's funny that I got messaged this week because I've had this conversation with like 5 married women in the last week of how hard it is to keep the spark alive in a long-term relationship. So first and foremost, it's completely normal if this is happening to you. Number 2, the best way to reignite it is to address the elephant in the room, which tends to be the scariest, most vulnerable thing that you can do during this time. Because what ends up happening when there's a decrease of intimacy, there's typically a breakdown in communication and a breakdown of you two just feeling like you are together. So no one wants to say what's really going on. No one wants to bring it up because they don't want to upset the other partner. All of a sudden, you guys feel like you're living in like a roommate situation rather than a marriage. So the first thing you have to do is have that conversation with your partner of like, hey, we're in a rut. That's what like the term I like to use, because it's not super heavy. It's like a rut is something you can move out of rather than like we're in the shits. It's like we're in this rut and I don't want to be in this rut anymore. I miss our intimacy. I miss the connection that we used to have, and life has gotten busy and we've both like had our part in it being not as good as it used to be. So what is something that we can start doing now to help increase our intimacy? Is this So number one, have the conversation of like, we're in a rut. How do we get out of a rut? Where are you both feeling unsupported in a relationship? Where are you both feeling taken granted of? Taking granted, that's not proper English, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of times we take for granted the person that we're with because we're with them for so long, it becomes habitual and we forget like how much they do for us. So sitting there and recognizing or saying, this is where I need support. This is where I feel like I'm being taken for granted. This is what I would like to do and where I feel I can improve in this relationship. Where do you think you can improve? Have that conversation. Next thing is start trying to connect intimately outside of the bedroom. The biggest, I don't want to say mistake, but a lot of times you try to jump so quickly into the bedroom, there's still that disconnection, right? Especially if you guys aren't feeling connected in general. Sex sometimes doesn't help that connection. It can make it feel pressured or awkward or any of that. And we don't want your first sexual experience, again, to be something that is any of those things. So focus on increasing intimacy outside of the bedroom. What does this look like? This looks like holding hands. Yeah, that fucking simple. This looks like kissing each other and like deep kissing each other, not just little pecks on the cheek here and there, like actually taking time to like make out with your partner. Like I watched two people, was it last weekend or the weekend before, make out in a bar and they were going hardcore making out with each other. And I turned to my friend and I was like, that shit's great. Like, that's what you lose in a long-term relationship is you lose that like want and that desire. So it's like being able to reconnect by starting to reconnect intimately through making out, through kissing, through hand holding, through physical touch in any type of way, whether it's arms around each other, whether it's like when their partner is walking, putting your partner's hand on your back, or I love putting my hand on people's thighs, like right here. Because I feel like this is like a really intimate connection. And like my favorite thing is like if I put my hand down when someone puts their hand on top of mine, or if someone puts their hand on my thigh, I do that. That's my favorite. Like that's the way I feel like, ooh, that's intimacy. So focus on reconnecting intimately outside of the bedroom first. Once you're connecting intimately outside the bedroom, this is where we start having conversations of how do we spice things up in the bedroom? What are some things that you would like to try? Here are some things that I would like to try. It could be kinks. It could be any type of exploration position-wise, new sex things that you could try, toys. It really honestly is up to your personal preference and your comfortability level between the two of you. So saying, okay, once we get into the bedroom, like what are some things that we can do? I would like if you tied me up a little. I would like if you blindfolded me. I would love if you praised me. I would love oral sex. Like what you are not doing that you want to do, kind of exploring your fantasies within each other and having that conversation to start slowly integrating them into the bedroom so that your spicy time becomes something that's more enjoyable. So I think I answered this one in like a huge, massive training the other day, but it's in my screenshot, so we're going to address this real quick. Can someone enjoy prostate play without a toy? Abso-freaking-lutely, and this is what you need to do. You use your fingers. The best thing to do is, number one, make sure you are aroused before you go searching for the prostate. This is because as a penis owner becomes aroused, the prostate starts to swell, which makes it easier to find. Number two, decide if you want to explore it internally or externally, because you can do both. Externally is through the I can't even say it today. Perineum. And that is located between your ball sack and your anus. There's a patch of skin. It's right there. So what you want to do is you want to go behind the balls. You kind of want to push your fingers towards the anus. You're going to feel a little divot. That's where you're going to want to apply pressure to while you are pleasuring yourself, and that should stimulate the prostate externally without insertion. Number three, if you're going to focus on insertion, you are going to need a very good, I would say, water-based lubricant, and you are going to lube both your finger and your anus. And then what you are going to do is you are going to play peekaboo. Like, let's just be real. You're going to take your finger, here's your anus, you're going to go a little bit at a time, pull it out, a little bit at a time, pull it out until you can fully insert the finger. Once your finger is inserted, you're going to feel around for the prostate. So people say that the prostate feels like a stone, a walnut, a pebble, So you're gonna feel for something that feels like that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger and you're just gonna doorbell it. That's the easiest one to do, which is just apply pressure, release. Apply pressure, release. You can also try to do like a come hither motion. You could try to windshield wiper it. You could try 1-2 fingers. Like the world is your oyster when it comes to prostate exploration and whatever you are comfortable with. So those are the ways to explore it without any toys. I'm going to try to clarify prostate orgasms for you. But before I jump into it, know that everybody is different. So the way we experience orgasms are different and the way our body reacts to orgasms is different. So keeping that in mind, a prostate orgasm is we're going to do this, we're going to get through this, is when the prostate is stimulated. Now, can you ejaculate from a prostate orgasm? Yes. Can you not ejaculate from a prostate orgasm? Yes. Just because you are stimulating the prostate does not mean that ejaculatory fluid will come out of your penis. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. Now, with the no refractory period, this means that you can have orgasms one right after another with no kind of rest time in between or with minimal rest time in between. Does this mean you'll ejaculate every single time? No. Will you have a combination sometimes of ejaculatory orgasms and full body orgasms? Yes. Will you have just full body orgasms with no ejaculatory orgasms? Yes. It all depends on the person. So I understand that the information may not be clear, but the fact is it's not clear because everybody's body reacts differently to orgasms. So there is a good chance that you could ejaculate. There's a good chance you couldn't. There's a good chance that all you will experience are full body orgasms. And like, I don't know, as a self-identified like female, when I feel full body orgasms, they are like, rock my body, my legs start shaking, like you feel it in every ounce of your body. They feel very different from creaming and they feel very different from squirting. So with penis owners, it may be the same thing where you're just getting rocked in your body with orgasms without ejaculation. So I hope I answered that question for you. Let's discuss swallowing semen because there are people who do have this fear of swallowing their partner's semen. Now, number one, the mentality that you have to have there is nothing to be embarrassed about if your partner comes in your mouth and it catches you by surprise and you gag and or spit it out. Listen, this is sex. Embarrassing shit is going to happen all of the time. Sex isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be experimental. And what happens when you are doing experiments? Shit goes awry. Embarrassing, awkward moments happen. So what we need to focus on first is that sex isn't meant to be perfect, although when we see it in porn and on movies, it looks like this beautiful fucking carnal thing, which it is, but also it's full of really fucking awkward moments at times. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about in sex in general. And we're going to talk about this too because I get a lot of vulva owners talking about queefing. If it happens, it happens. Just roll with it. Your body is going to make noises. Things are going to happen and it's okay. It's normal and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So address that, number one, because if you happen to gag, it's okay. Have some water next to you, right? You don't need to embarrass yourself over it. You don't need to get upset about it. It happens. You are swallowing I will say, foreign substance that your body is not used to. If you were taking a shot of tequila and that hit the back of your throat and it surprised you and you spit it up all over the bar, you would probably laugh about that shit, right? Especially if you were like a group of friends. I've done it before where you've taken a shot and it just won't go down. Like that's kind of the mentality you have to have through this is that, hey, it happens. Everyone's experienced it once or twice in their lifetime where they have taken their partner in and it's kind of hit the back of their mouth or sometimes people have just been caught by surprise when it happens and they've spit it out or something. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Second thing is, what does semen taste like? Let's have this conversation. Sometimes it varies depending on the person because drug use, alcohol use, diet, exercise can all affect the way that semen tastes. So typically semen will taste salty, sometimes, I don't want to say bitter, a little tangy, smells like bleach sometimes. Like it's different per person. If your partner does have, I was going to say spunky or funky spunk, this is a discussion with them of like, hey, let's make some adjustments to your overall lifestyle, because the better the lifestyle, the better you taste. That goes for anybody in general. So I wouldn't say it's a displeasant taste. I wouldn't say it's a taste like chocolate, right? Like, let's just be real here. It is a peculiar taste that if you mentally get your mind ready for it and you know it's going to happen, then you can just be prepared for it. Third thing is have your partner cue you when it's about to happen so that you're not taken by surprise. Typically they know it's coming, no pun intended. So having them say to you, I'm about to come, here it comes, something along those lines will prepare you and your mouth for it. Now, if they are about to come and you're afraid it's going to shoot back into your throat, try taking your mouth like off of it a little. Obviously, don't take your mouth fully off of it because then it will shoot. You don't know where. Which, if that happens, guess what happens to fucking everyone? It's okay. So what you want to do is you want to, if you're deep throating them, at least come like halfway up, if not 3/4 of the way up, so that it's hitting more in your mouth and getting to the back of your throat. Fourth thing to, I guess, prepare to put your mind at ease is have some type of paper towels next to you, a bottle of water or something, so that if you are kind of startled by the taste or it's unappealing, you can swallow it quickly and or spit it out. If there's a trash can next to you, chug some water, some, I don't know, Gatorade or something that can help alleviate the taste from your mouth. Fifth thing, if something goes awry, we go back to the first thing, which is all sexual acts sometimes are awkward. Laugh it off. Nothing to be embarrassed about. It happens to everyone. You will be better the next time. I think that people don't recognize that any type of sexual act is like, I don't know, a fucking sport. It takes patience and practice to try new things. So if you're trying something new and it doesn't work out the first time, don't give up, right? Try again until you get better at it. So it may take a few times of your partner going in your mouth for you to just get used to the feeling and the sensation and the taste, and to make it easier to go down each time. You don't need to beat yourself up if the first couple times it doesn't work the way you want it to. Be patient, you'll get. Fourth thing to, I guess, prepare to put your mind at ease is have some type of paper towels next to you, a bottle of water or something, so that if you are kind of startled by the taste or it's unappealing, you can swallow it quickly and or spit it out. If there's a trash can next to you, chug some water, some, I don't know, Gatorade or something that can help alleviate the taste from your mouth. Fifth thing, if something goes awry, we go back to the first thing, which is all sexual acts sometimes are awkward. Laugh it off. Nothing to be embarrassed about. It happens to everyone. You will be better the next time. I think that people don't recognize that any type of sexual act is like, I don't know, a fucking sport. It takes patience and practice to try new things. So if you're trying something new and it doesn't work out the first time, don't give up, right? Try again until you get better at it. So it may take a few times of your partner going in your mouth for you to just get used to the feeling and the sensation and the taste, and to make it easier to go down each time. You don't need to beat yourself up if the first couple times it doesn't work the way you want it to. Be patient, you'll get. And that is all for today, folks. If you have any additional questions, feel free to snap me, DM me, whatever it is. I will try my hardest to get to them. I am but one person, and I get so many questions on so many platforms. It's fucking ridiculous. It is insane. But I will try to at least jump on and do these Q&As once in a while so that you all have your questions answered to the best of my ability. And just as always, thank you for trusting me with these questions and feeling like this is a safe space enough for you to have the ability to ask these questions. And always know that if you do ask these questions, I never, ever share your identity ever. Your autonomy, I think that's the right word, is unbelievably fucking important to me because I know how sensitive this is. So don't be afraid to DM me. If I ever screenshot your DM, I will crop your name out of it, your email out of it if you submit it. Like, I will never share your identity. I want this to continue to be a safe space where people can ask their questions, get their answers, and just feel seen.